Hello and welcome back to Boxing Social in association with Betfred. My name is Ayman Khan. I'm here at the Peacock Gym in London with The Future Is Now George Fox, who will be fighting Kamil Sokolowski this weekend. First of all, George, how's life treating you?
Life is great. Always grateful. When I'm healthy and I'm still in this boxing game, I'm happy. So yeah, life's good.
It's always great when you've got a fight coming up as well. Kamil Sokolowski, very interesting opponent. A lot of people, a lot of hardcore fans, a lot of fighters in the heavyweight division know him very well. You'll have decided that you're ready for this type of opponent now. Why now?
Yeah, we've been ready for a long time, to be honest with you. On paper, it's a step up. I don't believe in terms of quality, it's a step up in terms of myself. I know I'm capable of that kind of opponent. So yeah, but for the fans, it's still a good test for myself and my team, those that support me, those that have faith in me. So it's my time to deliver, and I can't wait to make it happen.
With that said, George, what challenges do you think Kamil will pose you? We've seen him, a lot of fighters, a lot of heavyweights have kind of come unstuck sometimes against Kamil. He's caused them a lot of problems too. Do you expect him to cause some challenges in the ring with you?
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. We can't discredit what someone's capable of. Kamil is tough, he's game, he's experienced, so he's going to pose us some new questions that we haven't maybe seen under the lights. We've seen him in sparring, but on fight night, maybe we haven't seen him yet. So credit to him and what he does and what he's capable of. I've seen him stop prospects, people that are supposed to, beat him. I've seen him stop them. He's a spoiler. He's ruined a lot of people's journey or their ascension when they try and step up. To me, he's not going to do that. We have the answers to hit. So whatever he's got, we have answers for that. I will dictate on Saturday night. I know what I have to do on Saturday night. I know Kamil's weaknesses. I know my strengths. I also know my limitations. So when you know that's real humility. People associate humility with speech and not being cocky in speech, but the reality is being humble in actions. And when you know your strengths, it's about sticking to your strengths and stopping someone else from doing their strengths. And it's as simple as that.
With you, obviously, naturally, you'll be focusing on your own style, your game planning with Kamil Sokolowski. You want to show what you can do in the ring there, but he's, like we mentioned here, had fights with other heavyweights and caused them problems. Sol Dacres, who most recently fought him, and David Adley also recently fought him. Both had differing successes with Kamil Sokolowski. Did you see both of those fights?
Yeah, I've watched both of those fights. Solomon did a great job. I'm not going to say too much because the tactical things that you don't want to say on camera too much. I've also talked to David about that fight. Yeah, we know how to fight Sokolowski. There is a way to fight him. There is a blueprint to fight him. I've seen people who don't do the right things and what's happened to them. I've seen Nick Webb fight Sokolowski, got stopped by him. I've seen a guy I sparred with frequently, Nader Bull, fight Sokolowski, got stopped by him. I've seen David Price fight Sokolowski. I've seen Dillon White fight Sokolowski. I've seen a lot. So there are numerous ways of skinning the cat. Probably not for the animal rights people. It's probably not a great speech, but you get what I'm trying to say. Yeah, we know what we have to do and we're prepared to do it.
Skinning the cat's a very interesting phrase. I think I first heard it when Shawn Michaels used to do the thing where he went over the rope and then came back over and he said he skinned the cat. So I don't know if you've ever seen that before. But yeah, anyway, I mean, let's take it away from you just for the moment. You're obviously on a bill headlined by a brilliant fight, a bit of rivalry that will be ended, hopefully conclusively for either fighter this weekend. That is Linden and Arthur-Yarde. How do you see that fight going?
Yeah, also, I love cats. I just want to put it out there. Before anyone comes to me, I love cats. All kinds of cats. Okay, Arthur-Yarde, Linden Arthur. Yeah, that fight again is a good rematch. I think Anthony is the protagonist in that fight. Linden's the antagonist. I do believe that if Anthony turns up the heat and looks for the stoppage and asserts himself, I do believe he'll win the fight. I genuinely believe that. Having said that, Linden is a hell of a fighter. Got a great jab. Good distance control, good variety of punches. So it's a great matchup. Made the best man win. I have my opinions, which I kind of said, but it's like, for me, boxing's quite simple. I've always said to people, if you go in the ring and you do the right things at the right times, you'll win a fight. So you can rationalize and justify and validate a case for most top fighters to win. So we will see on Saturday night who brings the best game plan and who's able to execute that.
George, you used two very interesting terms there to describe Linden and Anthony as protagonist and antagonist, characteristic type of terms. They've both kind of referred to, one being the favoured fighter over the other in coming into this fight too. But that's an interesting way to assess from the outside looking in at that fight. Why did you use those terms?
I use those terms based on what I saw in the first fight. And what I saw in the first fight was, as I think all the fans have now seen, is Anthony believing that he was winning the fight at the time. Maybe can call that, we can put that down to a number of things that I'm not going to go into. Ultimately, that was not the case, and there was a misjudgment there. I think providing there's a reality check or a true assessment as the fight progresses and they're understanding where they are in that fight, I do believe that Anthony has the gears or the level to turn up the heat and make things tricky for Linden. Because we did see in the first fight, when Anthony did put his foot on the gas, Linden looked compromised. That's not to say that Linden can't make adjustments and get past that. However, from my understanding, the reason I use those two words is that I believe one man, if they bring their complete A game and the other man brings his A game, I think one person is more in control of that fight. But it doesn't mean that they're definitely going to win. That's why I use those words.
Fair enough. That will lead me into, I think you'll have a good assessment for this in terms of people understanding where they were in the fight. Over the weekend, we saw Chieftain Lopez get dethroned by George Kambosos, and after the fight, Chieftain Lopez said he won the fight 10-2, so potentially maybe from your perspective, I won't put the words in your mouth, but he didn't quite know where he was in the fight. Would you share that same sentiment?
100%. Listen, boxing is difficult because boxing has an element of subjectivity, let's be honest, of who's doing the cleaner work. You've got cleanliness of work, you've got the impact of the work that you're doing, you've then got the regularity of the work that you're doing. So there's all these factors, and it is subjective. And naturally, when you then have a relationship, like a father-son relationship, there's a lot of love and naturally bias that occurs in those kind of partnerships. You sometimes see things with rose-tinted glasses, and you sometimes observe and analyze with that bias, and then it affects your understanding of how you're processing that data. So I can see how that happens. And as fans, we're quick to sit on the outside and criticize people and stuff, but listen, it's hard. When you're in a ring and it's a dangerous sport, you're having to assess so many different pieces of information. It's not always easy to know if you're winning a round or losing it. And that's a skill in itself. It's something that people like Floyd Mayweather are incredibly great at. Sugar Ray Leonard, they know when to put their foot on the gas in the last 30 seconds of the round, how to nick rounds. And that's, like I said, a skill in itself. So yeah, it's hard to do. It's hard to do. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an expert at it. It's something that we work on, and we will continue to work on.
A couple of other things for me before I let you go. Heavyweights, you're in a division where a lot of emerging talent are coming through, young talent, Johnny Fisher, Soldaker, as we mentioned, yourself, Fabio Wardley coming through. Everyone will want to see you guys kind of mix it up soon, but from your perspective, some fighters don't want to do their own thing, they want to take their own path, but how do you feel about in terms of kind of testing yourself against one of those soon?
Listen, like I said in the previous interview, there's humility, and I said it in this interview also. This is a competitive sport, okay? It's a dangerous sport. It's boxing. We step in a ring and we fight each other. We can add all these fancy extras to it. That's the reality of it. When you strip all away the extras, that's what happens. I'm not here to be no fan favorite. I'm not here to lick people's asses. I'm here for all the smoke. I want to fight everybody. All the prospects, we're going to fight them. I'm not here to say that we want this guy, we don't want this guy, we want this journeyman. I'm not interested in that. We will fight the people that turn up and also want to fight. It's as simple as that. I respect all those people. I respect their journeys. I respect what they're capable of. I respect their dreams, their ambitions, their networks, their whatever. All that is cool, but we'll step in that ring and may the best man win. And I will continue to back myself, because if you don't back yourself in a sport, you're in a wrong sport. And whether fans get polarized by that, whether fans think I'm cocky for that, arrogant, that's up to them. But I'm here to try and be the best version of myself and to test myself. And that is what it is.
Two heavyweights that have backed themselves to a great degree, great successes. We'll start off first of all with Dillon White. Didn't quite get the order that he wanted from the WBC there. Just your reaction to Dillon not getting that?
Yeah, I mean, Dill's is again someone I've known for a hell of a long time. I mean, he started sparring with Derek Chisora maybe a decade ago. Known him for a long, long time. And like I said, one of my first coaches, Xavier Miller, who I've been working with for this fight. My father was, of course, my head coach, but he's been away for a little while. Zav, we go back a long way, back to Stonebridge Amateur Club over 10 years ago. So, you know, he's Dillon White's coach, so that way I've known Dillon for a few ways. And I also know Tyson Fury, I haven't done the 3 camps with him. So, yeah, I'm fortunate with his decision, but hopefully those guys will, you know, get to meet in a ring. And I look forward to that fight.
So you're saying that you're obviously training with Xavier Miller there. Is everything okay with your dad there on that front?
Oh, of course. No, that's my fact. Me and my dad will always be called. Nothing.
I didn't mean in that sort of sense, just in terms of like...
Yeah, no, he's training the WBA Super Champion, the Cruiserweight division. Arsene Gourmarian, I was actually in Spain doing camp with them. So he's been away for a few weeks. So I just came back to the UK. and I've been training with Xavier in the meantime. So yeah, no, everything's good. Everything's good.
Did you see Anthony Joshua's latest interview? He was kind of talking about his mindset in terms of how the Usyk fight has affected him and how he's going to approach things going forward. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I caught the one with Coogan, right? Yeah, I've seen that interview. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, it's, you know, because you're on the spotlight, everyone has an opinion. Everyone, again, critiques what you say. For me, it was a bit confusing because there's times in the interview where he's saying, you know, forget this boxing thing. I'm going to go. It's a warrior sport. I'm going to go there and do. And the next minute, he's like, I need to find a coach to find the. It was a bit. There's parts of it that are a bit contradictory that I don't get. But you know, when the world's eyes are on you, there's a hell of a lot of pressure, a hell of a lot of expectation on both externally and internally. Because I know he expects a lot from himself. But you know what? I don't like to get into all these, you know, dissecting all these small parts. Every man is on their own journey, and everyone in this sport tries to be the best version that they can possibly be. So long may it continue. Long may everyone give their best. That way the fans get the best fights. That's all I can say. Like, AJ's going to go away, try and improve, try and make the adjustments that is necessary to win that fight. And I hope he does it. And on the other hand, Usyk will also try and repeat what happened. So, yeah.
Future is now. The future is 5 days away from stepping in the ring against Kamil Sokolowski. What can we expect to see from the future at the weekend?
You can expect to see a skill set that's not traditional with heavyweights. Counter punching, distance control, a beautiful jab, good footwork, speed, rhythm, accuracy. That's what you can expect to see. You're going to expect to see a solid performance against a tough opponent, but we're going to show our levels and we're going to win. And we're going to win cleanly, beautifully, emphatically, a resounding victory.
George, looking forward to the fight at the weekend. Pleasure to speak to you, and thank you so much for speaking to Boxing Social. Much appreciated.